Is the city of brotherly love about to commit the ultimate betrayal? Or are we witnessing the cold, hard calculus of a championship window slamming shut right before our eyes? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I need you to take a deep breath and sit down for this one, because what we are discussing today feels almost sacrilegious to say out loud in the Delaware Valley. We are talking about the unthinkable. We are talking about the face of the franchise, the man who chose Philadelphia when he could have gone anywhere, potentially wearing a different uniform. The tension between the front office and the clubhouse has been simmering all offseason, but now the whispers are turning into shouts. We are looking at a proposed blockbuster scenario that would send Bryce Harper, yes, that Bryce Harper, packing his bags and heading west across the state to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know, just hearing that makes your stomach turn, doesn't it? But we have to look at the reality of the situation. The relationship between Harper and President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski has been, let's call it, frayed, to put it mildly. We have seen the public comments. We have seen the subtle jabs in the press. Dombrowski has spent a good chunk of the winter seemingly devaluing his own superstar, questioning his elite status publicly in a way that feels calculated and cold. Harper, never one to back down, fired back. And when the superstar and the architect are at war, usually something has to give. This isn't just about a disagreement over money or playing time. It's about the fundamental future of the organization. The proposal on the table, brought to light by analysts like Mark Powell, suggests a nuclear option. If Harper decides he's done with the drama and requests a trade, the Phillies might look to their Pennsylvania neighbors for a historic reset. The return? The number one prospect in all of baseball, Konnor Griffin. This isn't just a trade rumor. This is an identity crisis for Philadelphia. Are we ready to trade a proven icon for a lottery ticket, even if that ticket looks like a guaranteed jackpot? Think about the emotional investment this city has in Harper. He pandered to the fans. He wore the fanatic cleats. He embraced the chaos of Citizens Bank Park. To trade him now would be to rip the heart out of the lineup. But if the relationship with the front office is truly broken beyond repair, keeping him might be just as toxic. We are standing at a crossroads, folks. One path leads to a desperate attempt to salvage a fractured relationship. The other leads to a complete demolition of the current era in exchange for a brighter, albeit uncertain, future. It is the kind of decision that gets general managers fired or enshrined in the Hall of Fame, with absolutely no middle ground. To understand the gravity of this, we have to look at the history of untouchable players in this city and the brutal nature of the business. Think back to the Chase Utley trade. Think back to Jimmy Rollins leaving. It hurts. It leaves a scar on the fan base that takes years to heal. But this situation with Harper feels different because it feels entirely self-inflicted by management. Dombrowski is a legend, a man who builds winners, but his recent strategy of publicly critiquing Harper's value is baffling. It is almost as if he is trying to drive a wedge between the player and the city, perhaps to soften the blow if a move actually happens. Historically, trading a superstar in his prime for prospects is a move reserved for rebuilding teams, not contenders. The Phillies are supposed to be in win-now mode. Trading Harper signals a white flag on the current era, a concession that this core group cannot get it done. However, let's play devil's advocate for a second and look at the tactical side. If you look at the sheer economics and the aging curve, there is a ruthless logic here. Harper is on a massive contract. He is getting older. His body has taken a beating over the years from his aggressive style of play. The Pirates, on the other hand, are in a fascinating position. They are starving for a bat. They have pitching. They have young talent, but they lack that legitimate, terrifying presence in the middle of the lineup. Harper fits that mold perfectly. He could play first base. He could roam the corner outfield. But mostly, he would bring a swagger to Pittsburgh that they haven't had since the days of Barry Bonds. But for Philadelphia, this would be a pivot of seismic proportions. We are talking about trading a known quantity, an MVP, a leader, for potential. And in a city as demanding as Philadelphia, potential doesn't buy you much patience when the team starts losing games in April. You have to consider the tactical void this creates. Who hits third? Who scares the opposing pitcher? You can't just replace Bryce Harper's OPS with a committee of role players. The lineup loses its anchor. The Pirates, meanwhile, would be accelerating their timeline by 3 years instantly. It's a move that says, we believe we can win the Central right now. For the Phillies, it's a move that says, we don't think we can win the World Series with this payroll anymore. It is a clash of philosophies, the Pirates' desperate need for a star versus the Phillies' potential desire to escape a massive financial commitment before it becomes an albatross. Now let's talk about the prize. Let's talk about why any GM in their right mind would even entertain trading Bryce Harper. His name is Konnor Griffin. If you haven't been following the minor leagues, you need to wake up. This kid is not just a prospect, he is a phenomenon. We are talking about a generational talent. In 2025, Griffin tore through the minors, starting in low A and finishing in double A. His slash line? A ridiculous .333 batting average, .415 on-base percentage, and a .527 slugging percentage. He hit 21 home runs and stole 65 bases. Let me repeat that, 65 stolen bases. He is a 5-tool monster. In spring training so far, he's showing off that power with 3 hits, all of them home runs. He is slashing .214, .267, .857, with an OPS over 100. The kid is electric. Acquiring Griffin would instantly reset the Phillies farm system and give them a cornerstone for the next 15 years. Furthermore, think about the financial flexibility. Harper's contract is an anchor, a heavy, expensive anchor. Griffin? He's cost-controlled. Even if you extend him early, as reports suggest a potential 10-year, $130 million deal, you are looking at a fraction of the cost for potentially higher production in the long run. This frees up hundreds of millions of dollars to pursue pitching, depth, or other stars. It is the Moneyball dream scenario, swapping an expensive, declining asset for a cheap, ascending one. But here is the catch, and it is a massive one. The impact on the clubhouse would be catastrophic. How do you look Trea Turner in the eye? How do you explain this to Wheeler and Nola? You are telling your veterans that you are prioritizing 2028 over 2026. The chemistry in that locker room, which has been a huge part of the Phillies' recent success, would evaporate overnight. Players talk. If they see the franchise player treated like a commodity to be flipped, loyalty goes out the window. And let's not forget the fans. Half the city would be ready to burn Citizens Bank Park to the ground. The other half, the analytics-obsessed crowd, might see the genius in selling high before the decline. It is the ultimate gamble. Do you keep the aging hero and risk a slow decline? Or do you rip the Band-Aid off for a shot at a dynasty with Griffin? If Griffin busts, Dombrowski is the villain forever. If he becomes the next Mike Trout, Dombrowski is a genius. The margins are razor thin. So, where does this leave us? We are staring at a scenario that feels like fiction, yet the pieces are slowly moving into place. The Pirates likely wouldn't want to take on Harper's massive salary, and they certainly wouldn't want to hand their golden boy, the #1 prospect in baseball, to their cross-state rivals. It's a complicated, messy, and unlikely trade. But in baseball, unlikely happens every single year. We have seen crazier things. We have seen icons traded. We have seen rivals make deals. If the friction between Harper and the front office is real, if the bridge is truly burned, then unlikely becomes necessary. If this trade goes through, it changes the landscape of the National League East forever. It signals the end of the Harper era in Philly before he ever got that parade down Broad Street. It would be a gut punch, a heartbreak, and a business decision all wrapped into one. But if Konnor Griffin turns into the superstar everyone projects him to be, history might look back on Dave Dombrowski not as a villain, but as a visionary who knew exactly when to fold his hand. It forces us to ask what we value more, the emotional connection to our heroes, or the ruthless pursuit of sustained winning through youth and financial flexibility. I want to hear from you right now. This is the most polarizing topic we've covered all year. Go to the comments section and tell me, would you trade Bryce Harper today if it guaranteed you the #1 prospect in baseball and a decade of financial freedom? Or is Harper's leadership and star power simply priceless? Do you trust Dombrowski, or has he lost the plot? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update on this developing saga. The stove is hot, folks, and the future of the franchise hangs in the balance. Stay tuned.